Hello, everybody. Wonderful Wednesday, y'all. I hope you guys have had a great day so far. Hope you guys have been having a great week so far. Um, I'll give you guys a few minutes to pop on uh, so that we can talk about something, y'all. I think that we all need to just take a second look at. So I want to say welcome to the Mental Wellness Sanctuary. I am your host, Frances McMillan, licensed counselor here in Jacksonville, Florida. Also, of course, y'all know business and life coach. Um, I am going to be talking to you guys about comparison and how we are enough, y'all. We are enough. Just us by ourselves. We are enough. So I'll give you guys a couple moments to pop in. I do want to remind you guys that I'm getting ready to do my second workshop. This next workshop is going to be geared towards self care, embracing it from the inside out, y'all. So I'm going to be doing a small little spinoff when it comes to my book. Of course, you guys know that I published my first book in May of last year, I want to say it was. And so this next workshop is going to be kind of piggybacking a lot off of self care and embracing it from the inside out, guys. The reason why I wanted to cover this is because it's very important for us to understand that whatever we don't work through, whatever we don't heal, whatever we don't process and learn from or heal from, directly spills over into every other area of our life, meaning how we see things, how we parent, how we are in love with people, how we love on other people, different things like that. And I know during the pandemic time, like I always talk about, there was this really big boom in self care, but as a therapist, you guys do know I'm a therapist. So as a therapist, I was starting to see a lot of clients doing their self-care regimens and things of that nature. However, coming back, still feeling burnt out, still feeling depleted, still feeling however they're feeling, right? And so, this next workshop is going to talk about the importance of that because a lot of them felt like their self care was a band aid and that um, they weren't getting the maximum from their self care, y'all. So, I just wanted to let you guys know that that next workshop, I'm going to get everything together, but that next workshop will be at the very end of very end of March, sorry. So, you guys be looking out for that. If you would like to join me, that flyer would go out. You would register and all of that through that flyer or through the link connected to the flyer. If you're interested in coming, you're more than welcome to share this information with somebody else. So I'll go ahead and get started, y'all, because I don't want to hold you guys for a long time. But I did want to talk about something that has been coming up a lot when it comes to us and with how can I put this? So the way that society is and how um in your face everything is, things that are going on with other people in their lives, things that are happening within the lives of other people. Some people are getting married, people are having children, people are vacationing, people are doing different things, right? And they appear to be, not saying this is false, but they appear to be doing things that some of us on the back end kind of desire or wish for us to be able to do. However, a lot of times what ends up happening is we begin to pair our walk, we begin to pair our life experiences, or we begin to pair our processes with the processes of other people. And at the end of the day, that can be a very detrimental thing for you because nobody's walk is the same. Nobody's process is exactly the same. I got to use the analogy with my clients when they talk about imposter syndrome and they talk about these different things. And I pick up on the fact that they are comparing themselves to other people. I said, identical twins have the exact same DNA. Everything pretty well much is the same with them. And even yet, and still, they still have different life experiences, or they will have different life experiences. Everything won't be just as identical as their DNA. So, why do we expect to have, you know, be able to compare ourselves to that of other people? Another reason why it's really important for that, because we have to remember that everybody's life experiences and the things that they have encountered are not exactly the same. So, because they are not exactly the same, we have to be mindful. I was just having a conversation with my best friend the other day, and we were talking about just kind of sort of, we always have these powwows and we talk about where it is that we're going next. We're encouraging one another to keep pushing forward no matter what things look like, different things like that. And a lot of people see kind of sort of where we have become, like where we are now, not even really understanding the behind the scenes things that we have to do, or the I'll just use the role of an entrepreneur, for example. For those of us that are entrepreneurs, a lot of people see entrepreneurs doing well, but they don't see everything that goes into that person doing what they need to do, some of the sacrifices that we have to make, not only for ourselves but for our families and even those that work with us in partnership. So a lot of times what ends up happening is, y'all, people see all of that and they're frustrated, right? Because they're not where they would like to be. But I want to encourage you guys that, you know, I want you to trust your process. And I know we had a live about this a few weeks ago about trusting your process and trusting that whatever it is that you're needing, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing in its appointed time, it will come when you're ready. I remember having conversations with some people and they would say, "Oh, I should be doing this by now," or "This person should have hired me for this," or "I should be in this role and I should be in this position." And then some of them get into that role in that position, and then they discover that they weren't necessarily ready for it. And so sometimes we also have to be mindful. We have to trust our process, that guess what, when it's time for certain things to come up, when God opens that door for you and says, "Hey, it's your time to be a wife. Hey, it's your time to be an entrepreneur. Hey, it's your time to do certain things," that we, okay, can trust that we're equipped to do whatever it is that we should be doing. And so I know for a lot of us, we struggle with this, and we see other people, like I said, looking like they're going up, 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 and we are looking at ourselves and being feeling stagnant. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes we don't say the best things to ourselves. Um, Sometimes our inner self-talk is very harmful to ourselves and to our process and the direction that we're trying to go in, y'all. So I just want to be mindful of that spirit of comparison, because it will also leave you in a position to be stuck, or what I like to call operating from a perfectionist standpoint, meaning if we begin to compare ourselves or our walk or something like that with somebody else and what they're doing, right? And if it doesn't line up, if it doesn't look like or close proximity to whatever it is that we've been comparing ourselves from, with, then we won't move forward with it. We won't do it. But on the flip side, more than likely, God is asking you to go ahead and do it, and you can perfect it along the way. So a lot of us find ourselves stuck. A lot of us find ourselves in the same place or in the same space because we're comparing ourselves, possibly not this total reason why, but one of the reasons could be because we're comparing ourselves to other people and what they're doing. And if we go out and do the same thing or something similar, and let's say they did it and it took off and they're making money, and then we turn around and try to do it and we're not making anything, or we don't see the fruits of our labor the way that we feel like we should see them, then we get frustrated and we shut down, and then we feel like what we're doing is not enough or what we have done is not enough. When all actuality, you may still need some maturing in some areas. You may also still need what's the other thing? So besides maturity, right? Because I think sometimes we think that we're ready for certain things and we lack some maturity in that area. And so until that time comes where we walk into our maturity, guess what? It ain't happening. Um, so I wanted to talk to you guys. I'm always pulling one of my cards out, right? So I wanted to talk to you guys about removing the comparison, paying attention to the spirit of the comparison, right? And then I want you to start being able to just meet yourself where you are, right where you are. Meet yourself where you are and then go up from there. I know it sounds like, what? I do meet myself where I'm at, but oftentimes we don't. We have started, even sometimes if we just look at where we are, if we're honest, we are looking at where we are, and there's still some kind of comparison on the left or the right, in front of us or behind us, when it comes to being able to meet yourself where you are. So I don't know about you guys, but for me and some other people, it's very frustrating for me to look up and find myself in the same space or dealing with the same things over and over again. um I always strive to try to be better than I was before, and so with that, um if I feel stuck, if I feel stagnant, that just starts to aggravate me to no end. But I can only speak for me. I can't speak for y'all. So we have to meet ourselves where we are, and we have to elevate. And so the scripture that I have for that is James 4, James chapter 4, verse 10. And it says, humble yourselves with an attitude of repentance and insignificance in the presence of the Lord, and he will exalt you. He will lift you up, and he will give you purpose. And I used to reflect on this particular scripture, especially when I felt like I was struggling, right, with where I was at. I would look at other things and look at other people, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been working. I feel like I've been faithful. I feel like I've been diligent. I feel like I've been doing everything that I could think of. Most of the time I wouldn't, y'all, because I could have done, not to be in gentle with myself, as somebody mentioned before, um but just feeling like, or being aware of the fact that I could have put in more time, I could have put in more energy, I could have put in more effort to get myself into a different place. One of the things I'm learning right now is that I have to be absolutely intentional with all of my time. If I'm not absolutely intentional with all of my time, I will look up and time would be then pass me by, and I have to play catch up or something like that. So it's just better for me to just remain intentional with my time. Okay. So, of course, I have questions for you guys, like I always do, because I think it's important for us to think about where we are right now. We are still technically in the first quarter of the year, guys. And so it's not too late for you to tap into some of those things that you desire to do. I'm just hoping that with this live, you will meet yourself where you are, and not in comparison with somebody else and their walk, and being able to just elevate yourself from there. Of course, that means, you know me, you got to partner with Holy Spirit, because He's going to tell you how to do it and what to do. But nevertheless, I do have questions for you guys. So the first question that I have for you guys is, where have, hold on, sorry y'all, give me a second. Oh, here it is. Where have you not been meeting yourself where you are in your present situation? So ask yourself that. Where have you not been meeting yourself where you are in your present situation? So look at your present situation where you are now, what it is that you're doing, where it is that you're trying to go, and say, okay, what have I not been doing, or what should I be doing to be more present with where I'm at? Because if you're in a space like some of us, maybe some people are comfortable with where they are. But if you're in a particular space, y'all, where you desire to do something different, then I want you to be able to meet yourself where you are in your present situation. So where are you now in that situation? Where are you? And then once you examine that, I want you to write down one thing that you know you could do differently. And I know I'm always telling y'all to bring pen and paper and, things of that nature with you guys. So just always bring your pen and paper with you. So go ahead and write that down. And then I am going to pose another question for you guys. And the other question I'm going to pose for you, you might be it might take you a little while, so do write this one down. But do you find yourself elevating in certain areas more than other areas? So do check. Do check. Yes, I will repeat the question. Do you find yourself elevating in certain areas more than others? So some people might be able to elevate really well in their careers, right? Um, but then they may struggle a lot relationally or emotionally. Um, so that's just an example. That's just an example. And if you do find yourself elevating in certain areas more than others, why do you feel that you are elevating in certain areas and not others? Now, this is going to be an honest assessment. This is going to be an honest assessment because I always say awareness is the first step to change. And so we can't change anything that we're not aware of that we are doing. So, what we want to make sure that we do is we take that honest assessment. So, I'll repeat that for you guys. So, the first part of that question is, do you find yourself elevating in other areas versus others? And if you do feel like that, then why do you think that that is? Why do you feel like you excel in other areas versus the other ones? Now, if you want to be extra, because I'm extra sometimes, you can put down the reasons why you feel like you elevate in that area. And you can also put down the reasons why you feel like you are not elevating in that area. I'm not saying that it's due to the spirit of comparison, but that could be something that could be coming up for you. You know what I'm saying? And so we have to make sure that we are making an honest assessment. So don't be lying. Write it down now. Write it down. Okay? So after you guys write that down, um, and after your assessment, I know these questions kind of long, but bear with me. They all have meaning, I promise. Um, so after your assessment, what did you discover? Now, some people are not going to like this portion of it, right? Um, some people are not going to like this portion of it because I think I haven't done a live on this, but I'm really considering doing one when it comes to accountability and just how things are here culturally or societally. I just been noticing this pattern of individuals, and it doesn't matter the ages. I know a lot of people like to say it's Gen Zs or whatever, but I think it's a lot of ages where people do not want to take accountability for themselves and kind of sort of how they got to the place that they've gotten. Yes, we've all been dealt cards. Yes, we, all have had things happen to us in our lives, so on and so forth. But there are some people that really struggle with that accountability part, or they play the victim role by saying, you know, um, oh, it was always somebody else's fault, or I wouldn't have done this if so and so hadn't have done that, or whatever the case may be. So once you look at your assessment, I want you to say, hey, this is something that I do, or this is something that I need to work on, or this is something that I need to heal from. Um, whatever it is that you discover once you take this assessment, I want you to sit in that. I don't want you to push it under the rug. I don't want you to, kind of sweep it under. I really want you to be able to tap into that because that's where growth starts. That's where change starts. That's where we begin to see things go differently. Now, keep in mind, this could go two ways. This could go really well, and you take this and you learn whatever it is that you need to learn, or you get the assistance that you need to get, or whatever the case may be. And then you can start meeting yourself where you are and really elevating. Or hopefully this is not the second half, but some people get stuck. They get stuck in this self-pity party or whatever the case may be. And then you look up 6 months from now, you're still in the same spot. We don't want that. That's not what I want. That's not what I would like to see happening to you guys in your life. So the next part to the second part to that question, this last question is, again, after you discover that, what needs to change? What needs to change? Is it your mindset? Is it your perception about things? Is it your circle of people? Is it your environment? Um, you know, is it that you need to be more financially savvy? I don't know what it could be, but I want you guys to start thinking about that and listing it out. What needs to change? The second part, or third part, sorry, is how can you make those changes? So for me, I need accountability partners. I need people that are going to push me into the right places with the right in the right spaces. I need a different type of environment. I need um somebody that's going to stay on my heels about things. Now, as I'm getting a little bit older and I'm kind of going through life, there are just some things that I know I need to get done. So I may not need somebody to hold me accountable all the time. But when it comes to certain things that I know I still struggle with a little bit, I have to have somebody hold me accountable because I'll resort back to old ways or old thinking. And then I'll be like, oh gosh, I need to make a change with that. So you have to do an assessment um, about, I guess what needs to change. Um, yes, I have thought about doing a podcast. I thought about that. I need to look into that and kind of see what that would look like. Podcast might be pretty cool. I'll try the podcast. Um, and so the last part of it is I don't want to step on anybody's toes, okay? So let me just throw this out here. Um, so a lot of people discover what they need to do, right? They discover the issue. They write down what needs to change, right? So they come into contact about what they need to change. They think about how can you make those changes. Um, yes, I do. I have a couple people that hold me accountable. Um, they hold me accountable a lot, especially when it comes to one of the lives that I did not too long ago about thriving and surviving, um, not getting stuck in old mindsets. So yes, I absolutely do have people that hold me accountable. Um, in certain areas, I wouldn't call them all mentors because some of us could use some mentors, y'all, in other areas. But I absolutely do have somebody that holds me accountable. A couple people. But this last thing, though, y'all, I don't want to forget. So, this last thing is what are you really willing to do to make those changes? So, a lot of us know what we need to do differently. A lot of us know what the problem is. A lot of us know or have thought about what we need to change. However, the willingness to do that is a whole nother uh, issue because when it comes to those things, that may mean that you may have to remove yourself from a place. That may mean that you have to really buckle down and be more disciplined. That means that you would have to possibly let some things or some people go. It means that you'd have to be more consistent. You would definitely have to be held accountable if you are holding yourself accountable or somebody else. It means for a lot of people some very uncomfortable changes, and um, I don't think that a lot of people really. I don't want to say they get scared, y'all, but when you think about what you have to sacrifice, when you think about what you have to give up, when you think about um, what you have to change, add, remove, fight through, push through, a lot of us kind of freeze up when it comes to that space. And so instead of doing what it is that we know we need to do, we kind of shy away. And this is where our elevation kind of gets stuck and it kind of gets stagnant, y'all. Um, So, with that being said, I want you guys to write down what you're actually willing to do to make the changes. It means absolutely nothing for you guys to know all of this information and then not do anything to change it. Um, we have to have the faith, we have to have the trust, but we also have to do our part. We have to do what works. Yes, a lot of people are stuck in their own ways, and that is one of those things that we have to always be mindful of. But I'm hoping that in understanding where you've been and what you've been doing and how things have been going, and if those things have been working for you or they have not been working for you, that we would be willing to let go of some of our old ways. I remember there was a meeting that I had gone to, and I think I might have did a TikTok about it. But she said we have to learn how to get out of the habit of being ourselves. And then I thought about how being in the habit of being ourselves kind of keeps us stuck and keeps us stagnant, and it keeps us in these places and spaces for too long, because we'll say, oh, well, that's just how I am, or, I'm still being worked on, or, different things like that, y'all. And so I'm not saying that they're excuses, by the way, but I am saying to a certain extent they could be excuses. Why? Because at the end of the day, you know, we are in this place and in this position, y'all, where if we recognize that something, and I have another card, we probably gonna do that one too, y'all. Don't get comfortable in dysfunction. But some of us are so used to dysfunctional behaviors. We're so used to dysfunctional settings and situations that when it comes to us being in healthy, functional places, we don't even know how to receive that. We don't even know how to process that. And so sometimes we don't always steward over those situations or things like that in the way that we should, y'all. So, but I ain't gonna talk about that because that could be another live that we'll talk about at another time, y'all. So that was the last question that I had for you guys on this evening, just because it's so important to kill the spirit of comparison, y'all. I just want to remind you guys to meet yourself where you are. Don't look at where other people are, don't look at what other people are doing. But focus in on you, focus in on what it is that you know that you should be doing in this season. What is this season of your life supposed to look like? Are you supposed to be are you supposed to be going up? Are you supposed to be writing a book? Are you supposed to be starting a business? Are you supposed to be taking better care of yourself? Are you supposed to be stewarding better over your finances? Are you supposed to be doing certain things? Like, what is it that you're supposed to be doing? Good night. What is it that you're supposed to be doing in this season? Because at the end of the day, it I won't say it means nothing, but you want to be doing something intentional. You want to be walking in your purpose. You want to be doing what you're placed on earth to do. But some of us haven't tapped into that yet because we're still toiling. Some of us with the spirit of comparison, we're still toiling with doing it the perfect way. If it ain't look perfect. And I used to be like that, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a really big perfectionist where it would have to look a particular way. It would have to be to my liking. I can remember doing TikToks or starting lives. And if I messed up one word, I would start the whole live over, or different things like that. And I would look up and realize that I still hadn't done something. So I just wanted to say to you guys this evening to just be mindful of that. Don't compare yourself to other people. Um, know that you are enough. Know that you are important. Everybody may not see your worth or know your worth or whatever the case may be, but as long as you know that, as long as you know that you are enough, as long as you know that you have a purpose here, and that whatever it is, nobody else can do it, what you can do. None of us are alike. So again, you guys, I just wanted to say thank you for tuning in this evening with me. This wasn't a super deep one, but um I do hope that post this live, you guys will be able to um Meet yourself where you are and elevate. And perhaps you may know some people that you might see not giving themselves grace, not thinking that they're enough, and encourage them. Hey, this is your walk, this is your life. But what are you willing to do to change it? Somebody can't want your life to be better if you don't want to have a better life or whatever. So again, guys, thank you for joining me this evening. Don't forget, I know some of y'all popped on a little bit later. At the end of next month, I'm going to be doing another mental wellness sanctuary workshop. This one is going to be self care, embracing it from the inside out. I'm going to be digging deeper or taking a deeper dive into the importance of making sure that we are healing ourselves from the inside out, because whatever is inside is what's going to spill out. If we don't heal that, it's going to show up in how we behave. It's going to show up in how we do business. It's going to show up in how we do relationships. It's going to show up in ways that we don't desire for it to show up. And it could cause us to mismanage or mishandle a good season in our life or a particular place where we're supposed to be. So if you guys are interested in doing that, I'm going to have that flyer circulating around here very soon. So you can share that flyer with other people. Um, if you feel like somebody needs to have some self-care, because we don't want to just be walking around band-aiding things, y'all. We don't want to just go out and do the self-care and then get our massage and then come back to the very thing that made us have to leave to go and get that self-care in the first place. No, the goal is for your self-care to really work for you and for it to really help you have this. If I could give you a mental picture to where your cup is overflowing and you have enough to share and give with other people without you being depleted. But for some of us, our self-care looks like a cup that's running water in there with holes at the bottom, because we have things that we absolutely need to work on and we have not done a good job of that. And so we also have to remember that whatever we choose to not work on bleeds onto other people, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. Every decision that you make has a domino effect on the next person. So if you are a parent, if you are a business owner, if you are an aunt or a daughter or whatever the case may be, whatever we do not heal from, it absolutely trickles down and bleeds onto other people. And most of those people are the people that are closest to us. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to give those closest to me, those that I love, the worst version of myself. While other people get a better version of me than the ones that are at home with me. So, y'all, again, if you guys are interested in any counseling or coaching or consulting services, for those of you that know or may not know, um, I do counseling. Of course, you can find me on Growth Therapy. I am on Headway. You can find me on Psychology Today. All you have to do is look my name up and I will come up. I am taking new clients for counseling. I'm also taking new clients for coaching and consulting. So some people need the coaching. Keep in mind, guys, that the coaching part of it is not for those that have actual issues. These is more along the lines of coaching, just trying to make sure that you stay on track with whether it be personal or professional goals. I am able to help you with both. I do specialize, of course, in the mental wellness aspect of it, but I also can help you get your child care center off the ground. I have been an admin in child care for over 5 or 6 years now. And when it comes to all things child care, whether it's just getting your systems together, your programs together, logging in, getting food program, getting anything pertaining to childcare centers off the ground, I can help you do that. And I'm also able to help you if you're interested or you are a therapist or a social worker or something like that, and you're interested in learning what you need to do to get your um, practice off the ground. I can definitely help you with that when it comes to the credentialing process, when it comes to obtaining your MPI numbers, or just different things like that. I'm able to assist you guys with being able to do that. Or if you don't need the coaching and you just need a consultation on how to get started with certain things, I am also available for that as well, guys. So I wanted to say Thank you. Don't forget, my website has been shared with you guys. Don't forget, like I said, I still have my books. Okay. I still got my books on hand. I still have my journals. And then I also have my Speak Life into Yourself affirmation cards, y'all. So if you are interested in any of these items, I do have them here on hand, or I can ship them to you with no problem at all. So I thank you guys for the support, and I will see you guys back next week, where our topic next week will be we'll be talking about mistakes are our one of our greatest teachers, y'all. And so I know a lot of people that's a touchy subject because we don't like to talk about the mistakes that we've made. But it's a good time for us to talk about them. It's a good time for us to look at them so that we can learn from them, so that we can move on, so that we can elevate and meet ourselves where we are, so that we can trust our process, so that we can love ourselves more, guys. It really just whatever is internally going on with you guys. So, good night. I will see you guys here next week, Wednesday at 7 p.m. for the Mental Wellness Sanctuary. Thank you guys. Have a great evening. Bye.